Hello children. In class 6th, you have learnt about different types of motions. You learnt that a motion could be along a straight line. It could be circular or periodic. So first, what is motion? Motion is the change in position of an object with time. And the different types of motions you studied in class 6. Motion along a straight line is also known as rectilinear motion. Example, on your screen you can see motion of a car on a straight road. Second type of motion is periodic motion, and its example is also on your screen. Motion of a pendulum. The second figure which you can see here, this one. And the third is circular motion. Example, motion of the earth around the sun. So this is the sun and earth is revolving around it. Okay. Next topic is speed. The distance covered by an object in a unit time is called the speed of the object. We know that some vehicles or some objects, they move faster than the others. And even the same type of vehicles may move faster or slower at different types. So to know which moves faster and which moves slow, we have to know speed of that vehicle. And probably you are familiar with this word. So the most convenient way to find out which of the two or more object is moving faster is to compare the distances moved by them in a unit time. Thus, we know the distance covered by the two objects in an hour, we can tell which one is slower. We call the distance covered by an object in a unit time as the speed of the object. Example, if a car covers a distance of 100 kilometers in 1 hour and a bus covers a distance of 50 kilometers in 1 hour, then the speed of the car is more than the speed of the bus. Since the speed of most objects are not constant, the speed is the average speed. So how we will find out the average speed? Very simple. You have to calculate the total distance covered by that object and divide it by the total time taken by that object to cover that particular distance. That is why we say speed is equal to total distance covered divided by total time taken. So when we say that a car is moving with the speed of 50 kilometers per hour, it implies that it will cover a distance of 15 kilometers in 1 hour. But as I told you, the speed of an object is not constant. Okay, that is why we take the average. So now motion can be divided into two types or two categories on the basis of their speed. So when the speed of an object is constant means same, it is same, uniform, then it is called uniform motion. It means if a car is traveling 50 kilometers in 1 hour or in every 1 hour, means it is going to cover 50 kilometers in the first 1 hour. Then again, if we want to calculate or find the speed, again it is coming out to be 50 kilometer in 1 hour. Then we say that the car is moving with a uniform motion. But when the speed of an object keeps changing, means it is traveling with some speed at a particular time, and when next time when we are recording the speed, it is showing some different speed, then we say that the object is in non-uniform motion. So in our everyday life, we seldom find objects moving with a constant speed over long distances or for long duration of time. On the other hand, if an object is moving along a straight line with constant speed, it is said to be uniform motion. So when we wait, yes. So now measurement of time. So time is measured by using clocks or watches. Clocks and watches make use of periodic motion. So on your screen you can see different types of clocks. First you can see the wall clocks, then table clock is there, then the watches which we wear on our wrist, then again digital clocks which are very common these days. You can find them at railway platform, and generally most of the offices they have digital clock because they give very precise time. Now, as I was discussing that these clocks, most of the clocks in olden days, they used to calculate time on the basis of pendulum. So simple pendulum, a simple pendulum has a metallic bob. You can see a sphere ball like structure. This is called bob. So when a small metallic bob is suspended from a stand by a thread, we call it a simple pendulum. Now on your screen you can see an animation that when pendulum is in motion, this type of to and fro motion of an object is called oscillatory motion, and this is also known as periodic motion because same distance is traveled by the pendulum or object in equal interval of time. So this is periodic motion, means it keeps on repeating itself after a fixed interval of time. So on your screen you can see A, O and B, three positions are there. So O is called the mean position. It means when the pendulum is at rest, we call it is at mean position. And the maximum distance which it can travel on both sides, that is B here and A here, this extreme point or the maximum distance is called its extreme position. So these are the two extreme ends, and this is the mean position. So if the bob is taken to one side and released, it will move to and fro, and this to and fro motion of pendulum is called periodic motion. And children, you can prepare a simple pendulum at home by taking a thread of 1 meter, a string or thread of 1 meter length, and you can tie a metallic bob at one end, then tie or fix it to a stand, and it will act like a simple pendulum. Now oscillation. When the bob moves from the mean position O that I told you earlier, the central position is called O mean position, to A, that is the extreme, and again it comes back to O, then go this way at the extreme position B, and again come back to O. So this motion from O to A, then coming back to O, then going towards B, then coming back to O, it is called one oscillation. So when the bob moves from one extreme position A to the other extreme position B and back to A, it is called one oscillation. And the time taken by pendulum to complete one oscillation is called its time period. Again, I'm repeating, the time taken by the pendulum to complete one oscillation is called its time period. It is, children, denoted by capital T, and it is measured in seconds. Now there is one activity which you will perform at home to find the time period of a simple pendulum. So what you have to do, you set up a simple pendulum with the thread of length about 1 meter and move the bob to one side and release the bob. Measure the time taken to complete 20 oscillation. Even you can take more than 20, but 20 is enough because, children, you know, one oscillation take very less time, so you won't be able to calculate the distance, calculate the time perfectly. That is why we will take time period or total time taken by 20 oscillation. And for this you can use, actually we are supposed to use a stopwatch, but at home we don't have stopwatch or stop clock, so you can use your own wrist watches or any digital watch or clock. So record the observation in the table as it is on your screen. In one column you will write time taken for 20 oscillations, then you will find out the time period. So how to find out the time periods? So what you will do, you will record the time taken for 20 oscillations and then divide that time by 20 only. So you will get the time of one oscillation. For example, if for 20 oscillation the time taken is 40 seconds, then what is the time period of one oscillation? You will divide 40 by 20. So answer is 2 seconds. So like this, and you can also do one thing, keep changing the length of the pendulum and see what happens when you increase the length and what happens when you decrease the length of the pendulum. Because if you keep the length same, then almost you will get the same time period in all the cases. Now, unit of time and speed. The basic unit of time is second. The larger unit of time are minutes, then hours. Hours make days also, 24 hours makes day, then days make month, then year is also there, okay? And the basic unit of speed is meter per second. Children, very simple, you know, the distance of speed is the formula for speed is distance divided by time taken. So distance is measured in meters and time is measured in seconds. But for our convenience, we take larger unit of speed also, which is commonly used as kilometer per hour. In ancient time, the time measuring devices were, you know, sundials were there, then water clocks were there, and sand clocks also. So this project you can do, you can make a sand clock or sundial. Okay. And the sand clock, you can make a sand clock of 5 minutes or 2 minutes, it is up to you. Now measuring speed. How to measure speed? As I told you, speed of an object can be measured if we know the distance covered by the object and the time taken by it to complete that object. Example, if a car covers a distance of 100 kilometers in 2 hours, then speed of the car is, what is given to you? Distance is given 100 kilometer. Time is also given 2 hours, and we know that speed is equal to distance upon time. So when you divide the distance, total distance covered by the time taken, you get the answer, and the answer is, yes, you are right, it is 50 kilometer per hour. And if we know the speed of the car and time, then we can find the distance covered by it. It means out of these three, speed, distance and time, if you know any two, you can find the third one. If distance and time is known to you, you can find the speed. If speed and distance is known to you, you can find the time. And if speed and time is known to you, you can find out the distance. So very simple mathematics, you do this. So distance is equal to speed into time. And if we know the distance covered by the car, the speed, we can find the time taken. Clear, children? Now there are two devices which we all see in our vehicles. One is speedometer, another is odometer. Speedometer, as its name itself tells, that's the meter of speed, means the device which measures the speed of vehicle is called speedometer. And you know that speed is calculated or measured in kilometer per hour. That is why its unit is kilometer per hour. So on your screen you can see 0, 20, 40, 80, 100, 120, 140, 160. This is speedometer and it tells the speed of the vehicle. Second is odometer. This is something new for you. Odometer is a device which measures the distance covered by a vehicle. So on your screen you can see here, yes, here it is 054902. So this is the distance which is traveled by this particular vehicle. And you know that distance is measured in kilometers. So this is measured in kilometer. Now children, we can plot graphs. You know, graph paper are there in your notebooks at the back of your practical records. Those graph paper we are going to use to find out the speed, distance and time. It means graphically we can find the speed, distance and time. So you can, on your screen you can see the distance traveled by a car and time taken is given to you. Like for example, uh, at when time was 1 minute, the object covers a distance of 1 kilometer. And after 2 minutes, the distance covered by the car is again 2 kilometer. So we here see that in every 1 minute, the object is covering a distance of 1 kilometer. So if the distance time graph is a straight line, for example, in this case, you know, this is y-axis, this is y-axis, and this is x-axis. So generally we represent time on x-axis and distance on y-axis. Okay, so if by plotting this like 1 minute, in 1 minute it is covering the distance of 1 kilometer. In 2 minutes, it is covering the distance of 2 kilometer. In 3, it is covering 3 kilometer. In 4 minutes, it is covering 4 kilometer. So like this, when we join these points, we get a straight line. Okay, this straight line, it tells us that speed of the object is uniform. It means whenever you are plotting a graph between distance and time, and if you get a straight line, it means that the object is traveling or it is moving with a constant or uniform speed. Okay. And if it is not a straight line, it means the object is moving with a non-uniform motion. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching.